When you create your Track It Forward organization, you will have the ability to customize your volunteer profile fields and adjust your settings. First, you can decide if you want to approve each hour's submission. If you select yes, then all hours will be sent to an approval queue for you to review and approve before the volunteer receives credit. If you select no, hours will automatically be logged when the volunteer adds them to the site. You can also decide if you want to review and approve new volunteers or if you want to add them to the site upon registration. Next, you can decide what profile fields you want to include for your volunteers. All of this information is completely customizable based on your needs. If you click the plus symbol next to each question, you will see more settings that you can customize. For instance, you can decide if a certain field is required or optional for volunteers. By default, the display name will be set to the first and last name of the volunteer. However, you can customize this if you prefer to view volunteers by first or last name only, or want to use something like an ID number instead. For many organizations, it is helpful to add questions that allow you to segment volunteers. For example, a school might want to add a graduation year to the profile. This makes it easy to filter the list at the end of the school year and archive graduated seniors. This also allows you to create custom milestones for a specific group of volunteers. In some cases, you may also find it useful to ask volunteers to select their interest or specify their role. This makes it easy for you to send out custom email blasts or event invitations to a specific segment of your volunteers. Some organizations may also find it useful to add a question and make it a grouping field. Grouping allows volunteers with separate accounts to work together towards one requirement. The most common example is that a school requires a number of family service hours, but parents may have separate Track It Forward accounts. By using a grouping field, such as a family ID number, the family receives credit towards the requirements regardless of which family member is logging the hours. Finally, you may find it useful to add an organizer-only field. This question does not appear on the volunteer side, but as the organizer it helps you track information about specific volunteers, such as training or paperwork that's been completed. At any time, you can revisit your volunteer profile fields through your organizer dashboard by going to Settings and then revisiting the Volunteers page. This makes it easy to adjust questions or make changes as needed. If you have any questions about configuring the volunteer profile for your needs, contact our support team.